Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. He climbed up in the sycamore tree, for the Lord he wanted to see. Well, if you're seeing this video first thing in the morning, I apologize that you had to wake up to my horrible voice. But when I read the story of Zacchaeus, that song always pops in my head. And that wee little man, the man who was small in stature, who climbed up in the tree to see Jesus as he passed through Jericho, because he could see him no other way because the crowds were so thick. And he couldn't see over the people because he was short. And so he climbed up in the tree to see Jesus. And then Jesus passes the way of Zacchaeus and looks up in the tree and calls out to Zacchaeus and says, Zacchaeus, you come down. I'm going to go to your house today. And it says Zacchaeus was filled with joy at that opportunity. And that as Jesus entered his house, that he confessed his wrongdoings, that he was a rich guy. He had defrauded a lot of people as a tax collector. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna give half of my belongings to the poor, and anybody who I've defrauded, I'm gonna make it right and more than right. And Jesus said, salvation's come to this house. This is a son of Abraham. What a great story it is. And then Jesus says, you know, he's come to seek and to save the lost. It's a great message. The man today looking for Jesus is Zacchaeus. And and the message we have today is, you know, let's look at some of the characters in this story. Zacchaeus is the most obvious, you know, the guy who's smaller, the guy who's short, the guy who's having trouble seeing who Jesus is. Maybe he doesn't even really know who Jesus is or what he's looking for. He just knows that this Jesus guy is coming. Um, Much like the wise men didn't know that Jesus was the one they were looking for, they were just looking for a king. Much like the men who carried the paralyzed man to Jesus in our last study didn't know that Jesus was the Savior of the world, but they just wanted someone to heal, and Jesus gave them forgiveness. Now Zacchaeus is just looking to see who this popular guy is, and he once again offers something much more than Zacchaeus could have ever imagined: salvation and a change of heart. Maybe you're like Zacchaeus. Maybe you feel like you've kind of gotten the shaft. Maybe you feel like you have been dealt a small hand in life. You're short in stature in some way or another compared to others in your estimation, and you hold the chip on your shoulder. Most of us don't think we do that, but sometimes we can get into that category of feeling like we're owed something. Um, Maybe you're like Zacchaeus in the way that you don't really know what you're looking for, but you're seeking something. You want to see what the hubbub is all about, and then Jesus comes your way. Maybe you're like the people in the crowd who like Jesus, who are thrilled with Jesus, who love what they know about Jesus, and they're so involved with focusing on their relationship with Jesus and their being recognized by Jesus that they block out someone who really needs to see him, someone who really needs to know him. Those people never allowed Zacchaeus through to see. Maybe you're like one of them. Maybe I'm like one of them at times when I get so involved in looking at Jesus myself that I forget to share him and allow others through. The great thing about this story as we look at people who are looking for Jesus is it starts out with Zacchaeus looking for Jesus, and then the story ends when we hear that it's actually Jesus who's seeking him. Jesus is always seeking us, no matter where we are, no matter how hated we feel, no matter how wrong we've been. Jesus is always looking for us. He wants us to come closer, no matter how much we've messed up. Because even the gravest among us, Jesus says, I want to be at your house. I want to be in your heart and bring salvation today. He's come to seek and to save the lost. That's a good message for all of us. Have a happy Thursday. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.